that countdown reminds me way too much of work. Whoop, muting here. What's going on, everybody? How we doing? Can you let me know if you can hear me? I had like a bunch of audio issues last time. Like I think it was last week in one of my streams, my work streams, but hopefully not today. Rishab, where you at, dude? Come on, man. Come on, man. You're late 2 minutes already. Oh, God. How we doing, everybody? It is a long weekend here in the U.S. Tomorrow is MLK Day. Bo Williams says, I can hear you. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Boris, how you doing? How's everyone doing? I now realize that the overlay that I made hides the chat messages, and I don't like that. Let's see if I switch this to something else. That might be a little better. Maybe there. Agustin can hear you. Fantastic. The redeemed disciple. Hiya. How's everyone doing? What a lovely week it's been. Right? Eventful week, I would say. I don't know. Happy says hello. Like your username. Raj says hello. Hi, everyone. What's going on? Everyone's going to have to be my co-host here since Rishab decided to be late. Once he is on, we can flame him for being late. Carlos Ramirez. Hello, how are you doing? Here he is. Where we are. There we go. What's up, Rishab?
Hey, Gwen.
I'm digging the headphones over the hoodie. I should do that too.
It's pretty chilly. So my set is like really close to window.
Mm-hmm.
And even though like the thermostat is, hopefully it's working and everything is warm, like the rooms are warm. But yeah, it's pretty chilly close to the window.
How cold is it outside today?
It's
like negative?
Yeah. I just don't know the exact.
Oh, you gotta convert it?
Oh, that too. It's negative 10 degrees Celsius outside. Feels like minus 16.
What's that for us Americans?
3.2.
Damn, that's freaking cold, dude. I mean, it's Canada.
Yep.
Francisco says hello. A couple people already in the chat hanging out with us. It's awesome. I'm proud of GPS. Oh, thank you very much. Look at the. While I was working on the layout. The background.
Yeah.
What do you think? Looks good, right?
Yeah. I was gonna say that as I joined the studio. I'm like, oh, this looks pretty neat.
Yeah. I literally did it like 10 minutes before because I told you I was doing some Docker stuff.
Yeah.
And then I think I finished at like 5:30 exactly. I was like, all right, I think I have some time to like get the layout and the overlay done, and I did. Shout out to Canva. Canva is like so good. So good.
Hey, your audio also sounds pretty
good.
Yeah, it's really clear.
It's better than it's ever been.
Yeah. I would say that.
You know what's odd? I realized, so I've always used this interface, and I was like, what's going on? So I plugged the mic into the USB, and it's fantastic. I was like, it's never sounded like this with this interface before. So I plugged this interface into my Mac, my laptop, my M1, and it sounds like just as good as this. So it's got to be something with like the Windows machine.
Yeah. Oh,
with Windows, because it works fine on my Mac.
With interface, right?
Yeah, it works perfectly. USB and interface, perfect sound.
And you use USB-A on your Windows, right? But you use USB-C on Mac.
I think it's yeah, correct. Because it's USB-C out from here to USB-A.
Okay.
And then on Mac, it's just USB-C to USB-C. Oh, no, I use a dock.
Oh, okay. I have it's not the cable. It is your USB ports, maybe.
perhaps. But honestly, I'm just going to use this because
Yeah, that sounds.
I use
But
the interface for audio out.
so you
But
still are making use of the interface, but you're just using um, USB for your mic.
yeah, absolutely. And if this sounds great, I'm just going to keep it this way because I don't want to fiddle with like drivers. That's the one thing that Mac always has like a major advantage to Windows. It's just driver support. It's so straightforward.
Yeah.
So freaking straightforward. Oh, my girlfriend's in the chat. Happy Sunday, guys.
Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, Courtney. A moment of silence.
A moment of silence for Sunday.
How's everyone doing? Rishab, what have you been up to this week?
This week, I did go to Waterloo.
Oh, that's right. You sent me
On
pictures
Friday.
yesterday.
Yep, and I'll share them soon on Twitter. And went to see some properties, some apartments. Yeah, it was pretty cold, I would say that. So we went out on Saturday, and I'm just gonna convert it for the American friends. But it was minus 22 Fahrenheit,
Jesus.
and it sucked to just get out of the car
Yeah,
and
I
go
can't
see an
imagine.
apartment. It was brutal. But yeah, it is. I have never been to Waterloo. It was pretty nice town. Uh, Pretty good vibes
Yeah.
from the first weekend there. Yeah, we were there for Friday and Saturday. But yeah, um,
You
we'll
excited to
start.
move?
Yeah, excited to move. I just want to hopefully gets better, like the weather itself. I don't want to move in this in like such cold weather.
Well, that's why I moved to New York in the summer and not like wait. Even though people kept saying like you can probably get like cheaper rent if you move in the winter. I'm like,
Mm,
I don't want to move my stuff in the winter, and it doesn't even get as cold here as it does where you're at.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
but I
yeah.
totally because no one wants to deal with that.
Mhm.
Hell
So yeah,
yeah,
that's what.
chili.
Happy Sunday. That's what I've been up to um, for the weekend at least. But yeah, on the other side, I think I've only made some progress with Learn to Cloud when it comes to projects. I've been working on an AWS one, which I'm pretty excited about. I think it'll cover at least phase 3,
Mhm.
phase 4, which is DevOps, and then also phase 1, which is programming. So it'll be a nice, like,
Phase two,
full-fledged phase
phase
2.
two.
Sorry, yep.
Hmm.
So it'll be a nice, full-fledged kind of project, which will cover 3 phases.
Uh-huh.
Um, it's just documenting it takes time. You don't want
Yeah,
to miss any step, right?
and people don't understand like the level of like documentation that we do with our
Oh
projects.
yeah.
It's like we're so detailed with these things.
Mm,
Like it's like you can start from obviously you have to read the whole readme, right?
yeah.
But you'll have everything that you need: additional resources, potential like improvements, potential things that you can like
Hmm.
troubleshooting steps, stuff like that, right? I do want to get to a point where you know how you can sometimes have those buttons that say like deploy to
Oh
Azure,
yeah.
deploy to AWS or something like that. I think you can do that with Bicep now, but like I would like to get to a point where we have those for our projects as well.
Yeah, I do want to like there was a possibility with the Azure Functions one to some
Mm-hmm.
extent, but you had to fiddle with the UI afterwards. But
Mm,
I don't want people to like fork repos and do that and say
yeah.
like on resume that hey, I built this. And that's why I'm like, maybe not. Like I don't want to have that button and people I want them to read through the readme and do it step by step. But I don't know. We'll see.
54 Fahrenheit in Houston.
I'm jealous.
54 sounds really nice. Today it was like 19 here and raining. And I'm just like, no, I'm good. But about the deploy button. See, I don't know. I like it because oftentimes a lot of when you have these deploy buttons, it's
Hmm.
never really straightforward either.
No.
Like sometimes you have to like fiddle with it anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, but like this week I I mean, everyone knows like our focus this year is cloud native, and I spent yesterday putting together everything that I want to cover, like a list of everything, and like organizing like a plan thing, everything I want to cover for my quarter. Because when I study, I tend to like, or when I like dedicate myself to like learning something or whatever, or planning stuff out, I plan it by quarters.
Nice.
I don't know why, but I think it's because like work also plans work stuff out around quarters.
Yeah.
And it's easy for me to be like, okay, instead of like, I try to find ways that I can like fit them together, because it would be impossible for me to like, you know, do all the stuff at work and then do completely different stuff outside of work, because it's like there's just no time to like, you know, live your life outside.
And
of
I think you're spreading yourself like pretty thin. And yeah, no, I think that's smarter. Like obviously, like smart work is better than hard work.
Yeah, exactly.
And as a chat already knows, like we have been hustling for quite a while now, where
Dude.
our work was totally different, and then we would put extra hours after work to learn a totally different technology, and
Oh my gosh, dude.
yeah.
I was just thinking about, cause like my girlfriend brought up, I think yesterday, because this whole week, every single day I've been working almost 15 hours every single day nonstop. Just because like, I don't know, it's like, you know, January last week was still sort of vacation, and people were just like, this week scheduled all the meetings, all the after hour stuff, literally every single thing like this week, and it's just like been nonstop for me. And when I say work, it's not just like 9 to 5. Like Rishab and I do stuff that's, I guess, work adjacent outside of work, like a lot of like Learn a Cloud or our own YouTube channels and that kind of stuff, right? So like 15-hour days. And I was thinking like, man, when I was in help desk, I would work 9 to 5, and then I would drive. So I would leave my house like at 7:45, because it was like an hour and 15 drive. I wouldn't get back home until like maybe 6:30 on a good day.
Yeah.
And then 2 hours of studying every single day, no excuse. No, like nothing. And it was like tough stuff. Like I remember studying for this AWS certification. It was like 2 hours every single day. And then outside of that, dinner. And that was also the time that was, and I was like consistently going to the gym. I was like in the best shape of my life then. I obviously didn't have like a relationship or anything like that. So like I wasn't spending time on that. And I think that might be like, you know, I was living with my family, didn't have like necessarily to spend too much time with them. I didn't have a partner to spend too much time with. So maybe that's why I had like so much time to like complete my complete self. But I was thinking like, man, like the amount of work you have to put into like really study and learn stuff outside of work, it's like wild. And I'm like, I didn't have like, you know, kids or anything like that, or any commitments outside of like myself and my learning. And I was just thinking like, oh my goodness, that whole time feels like a blur.
Oh yeah.
When you look back at it, like.
No, for sure. Yeah, no, I have. Yeah, I've had the same experience, I think. It was nice. It was nice. We had that time. It was, I think that's why we were able to like focus so much on getting into cloud. But yeah, I can't do it anymore. It's just, yeah, I burn out, like you burn yourself out pretty easily, and then everything is bulked.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And it helps that at work, like I get to sort of align the stuff that I like want to learn around that. So this, yes, I put, it's like Docker, it's Docker, Kubernetes, Bicep, container apps. So that's the focus for, and sort of like just like an introductory level to intermediate level for like the first quarter.
Nice.
Then in the second one, it's gonna be like the same, but it's more like just deeper into it. I think the second quarter too, I want to like start like diving deeper into a programming language, because like you and I were talking about like last stream, like we want to become like proficient at a language, like really like good at one, right? But I don't think I could handle like, you know, becoming proficient at a language while also like sort of grasping all these other new technologies. But it's a lot easier to sort of like, you know, dive deeper into something when you already have a handle on Like when you're already like past those, like there's like this theory that's like your first 20 hours with anything, struggling with anything, are like the toughest, and once you like get over that hump, it's like
Yep.
it's a lot smoother. It's not gonna be easy, but it's like a lot smoother than the initial like just struggle. So that's like where I'm at with the learning. But anyway, this
Nice.
weekend I put together the whole. I'm just, and you know what? It's crazy. And I know I'm gonna be biased because I work there, but Microsoft Learn has like such amazing content. I literally put together an entire learning like collection. Have you built collections before?
Yep.
Yeah.
Personal collect. Yeah.
Yeah,
You can
I
do
built.
that.
I did like a Cloud Native 2021 Q1 collection, and I just went through all these learning paths, all these modules. I divided them up and like have the whole thing there, and then like, or I just like pick up from the last one I did.
It's
And
pretty sick.
it's so sick. It has so much hands. I like literally did a project. It was like a simple like .NET app. Use Docker container.
Mm-hmm.
What's the container instances?
Yep.
No, container registry, Azure Container Registry, and
Oh,
Azure Container
AKS. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
AC. Wait, no,
ACR.
ACR and ACI, and deploy it. And then walk through the Docker file, really understand that kind of stuff. And then yesterday I spent like 4 hours just diving into like the actual architecture of Docker, and all that
Mm-hmm.
content was also on Learn. And I'll be like, this is freaking amazing.
Yeah. You know what I used to do back in the day is, so I only stumbled on Microsoft Learn when I was studying for AZ-900, and that's the first time my like experience with both Azure and Microsoft Learn.
Mm-hmm.
I used to bookmark um, collections because
Yeah,
I thought, okay, yeah, AZ-900 has this list of modules that you need to go through. I didn't know that you could add, like, you could create your own collections and stuff. I
yeah,
would like bookmark them and be like, okay. And then someone shared, like, I don't know, a Python one, and I'm like, oh, I need to bookmark this and this. I didn't know. First of all, I didn't know Microsoft Learn had like programming based content or technologies
yeah.
outside of cloud or Azure at all.
Uh huh.
Secondly, I didn't know you could create your own collections. And now like I have a lot of personal collections that I built just so that, because it's easy, right? It's easy to navigate. It's easy to keep track of. It's there are quizzes along like when you go through a path,
Quizzes,
which is yep.
sandboxes. There's code snippets. Like I'll show y'all what I'm talking about. Um, Hold on, let me switch this over. Open up my collection here. I'm going to talk about the programming language because my answer might surprise y'all, because someone asked if I'm going to do Rust. All right. So here's my collection, right? And I have this cloud native learning, and then I have containers, infrastructure as code, .NET microservices, orchestration. And then in here, in each one of these, like I'm started here. This is just like sort of like Docker and then introduction to Kubernetes. But like you have stuff like, introduction to Docker, containers web app with Docker, ACR, container registry, container instances, containerized web apps with Azure App Service, which is a different way to deploy than container instances, and then Kubernetes and Kubernetes Service. So just like an introduction. And then we have like architect model apps in Azure. Some of them are like, I guess, repeating themselves. But then they'll be like, I don't know, like work with Azure Cache for Redis or something like that, right?
Yep.
And then I'm like, all right, once I have like a handle on containers, I can dive into a little bit more of like infrastructure as code. Or if I want to get into Kubernetes, there's an introduction to Kubernetes here. There's Docker there again. There's intro Kubernetes again. There's AKS. There's optimized compute costs there. Like there's a bunch of stuff. There's Helm in here. I'm really excited to get into the Bicep one because Bicep, like they have fundamentals, intermediate, advanced. Then they have Bicep with GitHub Actions, and there's also like an Azure DevOps option, or no, Azure Pipelines option. Microservices with .NET is in here too. Anyway, so what I'm doing is I'm using good old Notion. Do you use Notion?
Yeah.
Notion, I have like everything here, and then I'll just like, resources, whatever I'll add in here for my notes, and then this is like the notes
Nice.
from the introduction stuff from that I did yesterday. This is
But
it's just so underrated.
it is. It is. And I think like I think it was 2019 when I started using Notion, and there was no turning back.
Yeah, there's
The
no
only
turning back.
thing the only thing I would love for Notion, and in Notion, if you're listening to this, is to add Apple Pencil support, like
For
really
handwriting.
for handwriting, really good Apple Pencil support for your app on iPad. That would change things drastically for me personally, and I know how many people use Notion and how many people use it on iPad, but it will help a lot.
I and then I did oh, if people are interested, so I'll show. Hold on, let me show the screen again. What was I gonna do? Switch this way? Nope, wrong one. Sorry, this one here. So Notion also has that freaking export as Markdown, and literally you just copy paste it into like. Do you are you using Ghost?
No, so I have to use it because I'm loving it so far. So what I've done is basically the tips you suggested, like deploy it on a self-hosted instance somewhere in AWS or Azure, and start figuring stuff out. I'm trying to make it look like how your website is.
I just changed my theme too.
Oh, okay. So that makes
How it used to be,
things
probably.
difficult.
Yeah, how it used to be. Yeah.
So the thing that I'm having troubles with is migration from Hashnode. So I can copy Markdown to Ghost, but for some reason the links, the images, they are broken. Especially the images. For links, sometimes it works because Markdown is Markdown, but for images, I don't know why like they won't load. Even though like the images are somewhere in S3 or somewhere on Hashnode's own storage.
Yeah.
But again, yeah, so like since it's in Markdown, I assume the image to load, but I don't know. So I have to figure that out. But yeah, once that's done, I think I'll get what I'm trying to do is kind of narrowing down how people can see my content.
Dude, yes. Thank God.
I have ton of sites,
I
I'll
know.
be honest, and people seem to be lost. Especially so someone will find out my notes website and they will be like, oh, this is awesome, and then they'd have no idea I write blogs, or they would have no idea I have a personal portfolio somewhere. They have no idea I have a resume type website that's hosted somewhere else. So I'm like, I need to like bring it on one domain and like just have one site that has
All
either
your
has
things.
links, yeah,
Yeah.
but I want to make it like a one kind of platform that has blogs and that has notes, and people can.
You want your Ghost site to be that?
I think so, but I am having some hard time trying to do that.
Yeah. I guess so, to be fair, I have the same, but it's like I have like my resume challenge. So then I have my Ghost blog. Then I have my, I guess social medias. I wouldn't say that's necessarily like a bad thing to have multiple social. No, I guess I only have two. And then
Yeah.
I have my AKA link, aka.ms/ made by GPS, just like links to everywhere. I really just, and when people ask for like bios, picture, I just send them there. And then if people are like, where can I learn more about you? I just send them to my YouTube, really.
Yeah.
I do blog, but I do it more because like for myself, and with Ghost, there's no comments. There's no like, I don't really incentivize people to share or anything like that. I just kind of
Yeah.
just use it to host notes that I want to host publicly.
And I think even like with my Hashnode blog, it's a great platform. There's a lot of customizability. It's just that right now I have rishabkumar.com, which is my portfolio. Okay. I have resume.rishab something, which is my kind of a little resume. And then I have blog.rishabkumar.com, which is my Hashnode blog. And then I have notes.rishab.cloud, which is my notes. So
Dude, it's a lot.
I don't want to maintain all of that because again, there comes the maintenance. Every now and then there's a package that gets broken. I have to like look into it, figure out why the deploy didn't work, or if there is like new certification that I'm sitting and I want to publish new notes. It's a totally different repo than where my portfolio is, and then I have to update my portfolio with the latest notes. And I
Dude,
need
you should
to.
figure out how to like make all this
Yeah,
stuff automatic. That'd be sick. That's a sick project right there.
that is. But again, I don't want to have so many separate places. So I'm like, if I'm rewriting all of this, I just should consider like one website in one domain that has everything that I
Maybe
create.
it's not Ghost. Maybe you have like Rishab Kumar be one thing, and then you have like almost like these like microservices, like all your other ones. That'd be sick.
That would be sick.
I would want to do something like that. But it's like so many things to figure out. All right, let's answer some questions before we get too lost
Sure.
in whatever it is that we're. Okay, here's a good one. Rust, because I was talking about programming languages. So I sat down on Saturday and I was like, all right, Gwen, I'm really, really enjoying learning Rust. Really, really enjoying it. And again, it comes down to a time thing. And I was like, okay, well, why am I learning Rust? Like, why am I spending hours and hours learning Rust? And I'm not necessarily making content around it. And it's not that I couldn't. It's just like I'm just like, nah, I'm not necessarily building projects. It's just like something to learn. But and then couple that with like, all right, the time constraints, and then also like how much existing experience I already have with like other programming languages. It's like it's smarter for me to like, if my goal is to become proficient at a language, wouldn't I like want to leverage my existing experience? Long story short, I've decided to go back and dive deeper into C# and .NET. So that's what like I've ended up doing. It's Rust is great. It's just like the learning curve. I feel like I've gotten to the point like ownership, dude. I don't know if you've looked into ownership, and if you ever do, it's gonna kick your butt. Okay. It's like one of the hardest concepts for me, and I'm just like, remember that meme that Courtney showed you when we were learning like the card rules, the card game rules, and it's just Scarlett Johansson. That's how I felt learning ownership with Rust, dude. It was so tough, and I'm like, it's not like I couldn't learn it. It's just like it requires more time. I think later on in the year things might like slow down, or during the summer things might slow down. I could pick it up again, but yeah, back to .NET.
I think it's a good decision, especially because like we were talking earlier, like time is
everything.
It's limited.
Yeah.
First of all, and like you just said, like when we look at the past, it seems like it's just all like flew by, right? And we don't want to spend it on things that like you already have some leverage and advantage when you are working with C#. So why don't use that? And I think it's a smart decision. But yeah, you always have the choice to go back and pick it up.
Yeah, definitely. I right now, if my goal is to become proficient, it's like lean into what I already know, and like we both say, like any language you'll be able to translate your skills into later, if I absolutely need to. But right now, I don't really have a job that requires like I don't have to learn something. I don't have a job in mind that requires it either, right? So it's kind of hard to have like a goal. Whereas with like, well, one project that I really, really want to build is like, I want to build like something with Blazor, and it's like, oh, Blazor C#, like, makes sense.
You could build, if you're deciding to move away from blog and have that one of a platform, you could build your website with.
Yeah, that would be cool. Build it with Blazor. I would play like some server side stuff.
Yeah.
I do want to have like, I want to build a site where it's like it has like everything there that I have, like latest content, latest videos, and then also like if we're streaming live, I want it to be like go there too.
That would be nice.
Something like that. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe I'll just copy whatever you do. So once you figure it out, wait, but you would do stuff with, you would probably do like JavaScript, right?
If I decide to do it, myself. Yeah. If I'm not using any platform, I think so. Or I dive deeper into C#.
Or you might do Go. You might dive into Go. I mean, Go is the cloud native language.
So we'll see.
We'll see.
I need to sit down on a Saturday and decide.
Dude, yesterday I woke up at like 5 in the morning yesterday. I'm like, I need to figure this stuff out, because it's like, it's stressful, and like people think that because we're like in roles that we've wanted to be in all the time, like we don't worry about these like we don't like sit down and be like, how am I supposed to learn the things that I have to learn? No, that it doesn't go away. So I sat down, I literally like spilled my guts into like this Notion page. It's like, this is everything I want to learn, and I started like stripping things out. It's like, I don't need this, I don't necessarily need this, because like we also have to balance everything outside of life. Like you're looking for apartments, and like that it was like me a couple of months ago, and it sounds like, oh, there are other goals and stuff that I have to like get done. Like it's just, yeah.
No, for
But,
sure.
but yeah, you need one of these like existential Saturdays.
Yep.
And just plan your whole like what you're learning for the rest of your quarter, whatever you want to divide it up. Any tips for 204? Do you have the 204, Rishab?
No, but that's why I voted for 204 on your poll, and
Yeah.
it seems like AZ-400 is winning, and I'm like, no, people.
So I know people want the 400, and I understand why, but the 204 to me seems a lot more fun.
Yeah.
It just does. Like developer technologies, like all the cool stuff, all the developer services out there. It just seems more
And
fun.
yeah, here's a tip: if no one has had 104 or 24 or 204, and it's a prerequisite for 400, you are doing 204 first, and then you do 400. It becomes DevOps expert, I think.
There's a lot of like I think like 204 to 400 is like a nice transition.
Yeah, 104 to 400 is not.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Like,
I tried
tool-
giving that exam. Like I prepared for it, but then I was just like, no. I saw some practice tests. I'm like, no, I don't know anything. So
Let's look at the 204 outline. Let me open it up, and then we can see if we can provide some tips for the 204. Let's go on to the screen. I think it's this one. There we go. Okay. Some 204 tips. Let's see. Let's go to the outline. What do we got? We got VMs, ARM, container registry, container instances. Okay, cool. Not too hard. This is all right. Hold on. Let's see. 25 to 30%, 15 to 20, 20 to 25, 15 to 20, 15 to 20. Okay, so it looks like infrastructure as code kind of stuff is like your biggest chunk here. Provision VMs, ARM templates, create an app service, diagnostic code. All right, so it sounds like and functions. All right, sounds like you're deploying a lot of stuff. Luckily, so one tip I would say is find an application that you can work with, whether that be like a static like resume that you have, or like I don't know, there's a bunch of like demo like .NET apps out there that you can use. Find something that you can work with and figure out how to deploy them in every single one of these things that's telling you. Figure out how to deploy it with ARM, figure out how to deploy it with containers, so then you would use registry to push your image there, and instance to deploy it. Figure out how to deploy it with app service. I don't know if it asks how to deploy a container with app service. I don't think so. I think it's just like apps from app straight to app service. How to enable logging for each one of these. Deploy code to a web app. What is that? Is there Azure web apps?
yeah, I think so.
I don't think I've ever used that. Configure web apps settings, SSL API settings. Okay. Auto scaling rules. Okay. Yeah. So I would say grab an app, deploy it on all of these, and then understand like the settings around those. With functions, create and deploy Azure functions, input output bindings for functions, pretty straightforward. Function triggers, straightforward. Implement durable. This is kind of tough. Durable functions. I have videos on every single one of these, so you can go watch those, except custom handlers. But I think so. Also with certifications, I don't know if you do this, but when you study, do you study absolutely everything?
Me?
Yeah.
I try to.
Like, I feel like I would look at this and I would be like, I don't know, maybe custom handlers I can like do without. Cause like custom handlers is like pretty in the weeds. Okay, not pretty in the weeds, but it's like a pretty like, if you know about functions, then you might know about custom handlers. Like I could see like all of these being like pretty like straightforward things with like functions as a service in general. But then,
Yep.
durable is specific to Azure Functions. I'm pretty sure custom handlers is also very specific to Azure Functions. But I don't know. But yeah, I have like videos on all of these except for this last one. So that might help you out. Storage. Develop solutions, Cosmos DB. I mean, if you do the Azure Resume Challenge, you're going to get hands-on with probably a lot of this. You're going to get hands-on with functions. You're going to get hands-on with Cosmos DB. You're going to get hands-on with... Do you get hands-on with Blob? Yes, Blob storage.
Yes.
there's no authentication, so I guess you could just follow the Microsoft Learn stuff for this year. I have videos on using Key Vault with Azure Functions, so that gives you an idea what Key Vault is. Implement solutions. I haven't done anything with these. Actually, this last one, Microsoft Graph. Managed identities is pretty straightforward to understand with resources. Integrate caching and content delivery with it. So you do that with the resume challenge. Oh my gosh, I think it froze. My screen froze, I think.
Yep.
Come on, jeez. Did my camera freeze?
No, your camera is working fine. As well, the audio is. It's
Can
just your
you
screen.
Switch back to like two-person?
Yep, I can. There
That
we
is
go.
so odd. Hold on, let me see. Come on, Edge. It's odd that hold on, let's see here. It's odd that you can still hear me. and that nothing is
That's
frozen.
so. Yeah, it doesn't crash. I can
Besides,
see you and I can hear you.
do you see my mouse moving? Oh no, you move back to
Yeah. The 2-person layout.
Oh well. Bring up some questions, I guess. Once
Sure.
my Edge starts working again, we can go back to the outline.
Yeah. No, I think you covered the AZ-204 pretty.
Do the resume challenge in summary. The Azure Resume Challenge will get you hands-on with a lot of stuff. I think enough to get like a decent grade, and then plus do all the Microsoft Learn modules that are available for that one. But yeah, I did want to do a study group on that one because it's fun. I think it's pretty fun. There's a lot there that like very hands-on. Whereas like for example, like the architect one is very like theory based. The DevOps one is very like hands-on as well, but there's just so much there. And for a first certification, it's kind of overwhelming.
No, for sure. And like as I said, like you either need 104 or 204 as prerequisite for 400 or the DevOps expert badge. So I think you're in better. I don't know how to put this. Like you would be better if you do 204 before 400.
Yeah, if you don't have, I mean, yeah, I was gonna say if you don't have any certs, but you need the 204 or 104. So like if you're studying for a certification for your first Azure certification, it would make more sense for you to do the 204 and then your goal to be the 400 after that. Yeah, go 204 400 then instead of 104. Has the 204 been refreshed?
No, I don't think so. Recently.
Freaking Edge. Hold on, let me see if I can. It's still frozen. Let me open the task manager.
Okay, now your audio started chopping off. Or
how about now?
Yeah, something is weird.
All right, I'll be back.
Okay. So let's see some other questions while get Gwen back. Hey, Rodney. So Rodney says MSFT Learn has so much cool stuff. Yeah, it does. AI, blockchain, so much cool stuff. Yep. Yeah, I was just highlighting Rodney's comment. So he said hi, and
we got a lot of spam comments. All right.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I scroll down and there are a lot of spam messages.
All right. Something's been up with my PC. Oh my goodness. All right. Anyway, Windows 11. I'm gonna blame Windows 11. But okay, we covered 204. What do we got now?
Hi guys, I'm starting with my IT path. Oh, sorry, I'm starting with IT with the guide you both created. I think watching your live videos will help me stay engaged with the material.
Awesome.
Awesome.
We'll keep you accountable. Come back each week and update us on your progress.
Yeah.
That's great. I heard I've heard a couple of people starting with the guide. I've heard some people who have said like stuff in the guide have helped me land jobs. I haven't heard someone who's been like, And again, I don't, has it been 6 months? Yeah, it's been 6 months, right?
Who
But I
has like
haven't
completed? Yeah,
completed the whole thing, and like, and like in a reflection on doing the whole thing, I would like to see that. But yeah, that's awesome. What else we got? I put in, oh, my blog. Okay, cool. What's this?
So
I was trying
Manish
to.
says, I was trying to implement the cloud resume challenge. My origin hostname shows the visitor counter, but the CDN endpoint is not showing the counter. Neither is my custom domain. I'm not sure what's wrong.
Is this the AWS version?
I am not sure.
Wait, what? My origin hostname shows the visitor counter, but the CDN endpoint is not showing the counter, and neither is my custom domain.
hmm
So does this mean
That's,
you're going to it via different URLs?
yeah. And I think like he's referring to like the origin host name, so there's probably some cache that's not letting the CDN endpoint to update, and then his custom domain also uses the CDN endpoint because you want to make it like more available, whereas when he goes to the origin hostname, which gets updated as soon as you push out changes, I guess it's getting updated as soon as the counter changes in the DB.
Purge your cache, maybe?
Yeah, I remember something that you enable so that it doesn't do that, and like CDN endpoint updates itself frequently as data changes in DB.
For AWS?
For both, I think, if you're implementing CDN. Did
Okay.
we implement CDN in Azure? I think so, we
Yeah,
did.
you do. I just don't remember that specific option, but I could be wrong there. Yeah, I would say like my origin hostname shows the visitor counter, but the CDN endpoint is not showing the counter. Neither is my custom domain. Yeah, you're right. Custom domain would point to the CDN.
hmm
Yeah, I mean,
It's got to be cache.
yeah. Try that. Purging your cache. That's what it's called there. Love your content, but it's mostly about Azure. I started as a cloud engineer trainee, and we use AWS. Can you recommend good resources from where I can expand my knowledge? Yeah, learn to cloud. There's a bunch of AWS resources in there.
Yep.
There is like this fantastic AWS thing that it's in there. I'm kind of scared to go. It's another tab in my computer shut down again. There is this AWS hands-on tutorials. Have you seen that? So
I have.
there's some good stuff in there. I'll post it in the. There's like a lot of like hands-on stuff that you can do.
Yep. And then,
So
as Gwen said, Learn to Cloud guide has a lot of resources, and there are some projects, as we talked earlier on to the stream, that I've been working on, which would be AWS focused. And I don't know, I should publicize AWS more then. If you are, if you experience that there are a lot of chats only about Azure, but yeah,
I mean, with you, we'll probably start to see more GCP from you. Yeah.
that's
I mean, our goal is ideally in a perfect world, we would be like very balanced. It's like AWS, GCP, Azure, but we can't. Like my focus is Azure, and I think your focus is going to turn into GCP. And then, I mean, AWS has so much content out there. Like they've been out the longest. There's like so many people, I guess, tech influencers that cover it. Like
yeah.
you can find good stuff there. It's not like a niche. GPS, are you still hosting those 7 days challenges with the teaching of video? What? I don't know what this
Did you
is.
do that?
I don't think so. Hosting
Okay.
those 7 day challenges with the teaching a video. I don't know what you're referring to about this. If you could clarify, I can answer. I don't know what this is referring to.
I know about your 7-day YouTube challenge.
Yeah, but that wasn't. I mean, that's more of like a 7 day like plan for you to like publish your first video. It's not necessarily a challenge. That's such a smart and pragmatic approach. Yeah, I try. When I get into my I have to figure my life out, I really start to question all the decisions that I make. Would really like to stream my learnings. Kind of too many to think about streaming, possibly having VMs up. Yeah, you just gotta be careful. Like I don't do a lot of stuff with VMs. I do a lot of stuff in the portal, but you can use Azure Mask and then it'll like cover up like subscriptions and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
But
it's a pretty good extension.
ultimately, like you'll learn from your mistakes really. And at the beginning, like, you know, you don't have a lot of people watching or no one's watching, so you can like, you know, you get more comfortable, you get a feel for the things that you need to fix and stuff like that. So like embrace that. Let's see. I think for the purpose of a certification, studying implementing a concept suffices. Kind of impractical to immerse ourselves in everything, and awareness of the options is more bang for buck. Yeah, and I think that follows up with like what I was saying. Like, so when I get a certification, I'm not someone who like needs to get like 100%. I'm like, if I get one question more than what I need to pass, I'm completely fine. So it's like that 80-20 rule. Have you heard about it? It's like 80% is like more than enough. That's like a summary of it. But like that's my goal. It's like as long as I pass, and I know I can't cover like absolutely everything, but if I go through like the curriculum of a certification, I feel like comfortable for the majority of it. I'm gonna go take it. I'm not gonna make sure I know every single like line.
For sure. I think I did this with Terraform one and I failed. I didn't study much. Like I sat for like 3 days and that was it, because I already was using Terraform. And I'm like, I know like the basic concept of how Terraform works, remote backends, and all of that good jazz that you have to deal with when you're working with Terraform. Sat it, failed it. I'm like, okay, this sucks. I'm like, but I want to set it like now, because now I know the exam and what questions like were kind of confusing to me and stuff. So I like studied for another week, and I'm pretty sure I barely passed, maybe, but I knew like 80% of the stuff. So
yeah, we got to be smart with our time, you know, especially in tech. Like, how can you can't keep up with everything. Which infrastructure is good to learn? Infrastructure as code, sorry.
I would vote for Terraform.
Yeah, probably. If I wasn't like, if I didn't have the absolute freedom to explore any single tool that I wanted to, I would go for Terraform, because like most jobs, it's like the most popular one and stuff like that. That's what you use, right? You use Terraform?
Yeah.
And I'm assuming, I actually don't know what Google Stack is. Do they have an infrastructure as code tool?
I have not explored GCP.
It's probably Terraform, to be honest. I'm currently learning Bicep, which is an implementation on top of ARM. But, you know, go with what you like. I remember Microsoft Azure Virtual Training Day Fundamentals is coming up. Oh, yes. I put that, I think I tweeted about that, and I put it on my community page. That's free training. And then you get a voucher. Is it like a full 100 free voucher, or is it like 50%? It's 100%?
It is 100% through virtual training days.
Cool. So then you get a voucher to sit for the certification. So you get free training, free certification. I think the only difficulty that people have is like, you know, they'll have to take the time off from work, which I completely understand if it doesn't work for people. But if it does, then you can, you know, have free training, free certification. Fantastic. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's like on my community page. So go and find that. As long as you register to take the exam for free, I think it's the AZ-400. The Fundamentals is 900. AZ-900.
Yeah.
How do we move to cloud from an IT technician position? We wrote a whole guide around this. Learn-to-cloud.guide will give you everything. Do we have the link here?
Yeah, we do have it in the banner. And yeah, you can check out my and Gwen's story about how we did it.
Yeah, everything's like, we sort of got, I wouldn't say tired, but it's like, you know, you get asked about it a lot. It's like, let's just write this up. So everything that we feel like we needed to know to get into like cloud is in that page. Do you guys use Cloud Guru or Code Cloud subscriptions? I don't use any subscription at all. Everything that I learn, I use documentation or Microsoft Learn, or YouTube. And then I have books. Or books. Yeah. I'm very like text based. Like which is funny because I make videos. Like everything that I learn is like, if it's not text based, I can't learn it for whatever reason. There are like YouTube videos that I like to watch, like people implementing things, but when it comes to like theory or anything like that, it's just always text based. And then I have my own Azure subscriptions. I have like my personal one, I have my work one, budgets and everything. But no, I don't use Cloud Guru or Code Cloud. I had a Linux Academy subscription, but I had got my work to pay for that. And that was like when I was studying for, no, in my help desk, I was paying for it. And that's how I studied for my AWS developer one. And then when I moved into my sysadmin gig, I also had a subscription that they would pay for. Did I use the labs there? I can't remember. Linux Academy was great.
Yeah.
Can't remember. I don't know. What about you? Do you use anything? I know there's also like Cloud Academy. There's Cloud Academy too.
Yeah. So I have used Linux Academy. I've used Cloud Guru. I've used Cloud Academy because as being a community builder for AWS, you get free subscription to Cloud Academy, which is great. But yeah, I think majority I've used Cloud Guru and Linux Academy, especially when I was in tech support trying to get into cloud and then got into cloud. Until that time, I used Cloud Guru and Linux Academy. So up until last year, I used Cloud Guru, and they're good. I think their content is pretty straightforward, especially if you're taking an exam. And I think they do have playgrounds, and I think that's what they call it. They're exactly like sandbox, so you get a sandbox environment too.
I should know. I used to work there.
Yeah, so you don't have to worry about your subscriptions in Azure or your accounts in AWS costing money and stuff. You can use Cloud Guru's sandbox environments.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is also a great feature of Microsoft Learn.
Yeah, and you don't need do you need an account?
No.
I think if you have sandboxes.
You use your Learn subscription account.
All right, I need to make sure I block this user. Hold on a second. All right, here we go. Hi guys. Hi everyone. No, it's on Azure. Okay, yeah, just make sure try purging it first, and then let us know what happens. I have a whole video on this. I don't know if you followed that, but I have an entire video on how to get it to work.
Yeah, and it's also on GitHub. So.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Hello, Afri.
Hey.
Let's see here. Do you guys believe we need to learn multi-cloud? No.
As we talked in the last stream, great example here who has only used Azure and AWS. I'll be working for GCP.
Yeah, and I knew AWS and then got an Azure job. So, no, you don't. Again, grab one, stick to one, learn that one. And I'm pretty sure there's not going to be a job that's like, if you improve your skills in one, like they understand that, like a different cloud is like syntax, service names, things like that change. But multi-cloud, especially as a beginner, it's going to be so stressful. It's going to put you into like an existential crisis like I was on Saturday. Like, don't do it to yourself. Multi-cloud is for people who know what they're doing, like architects and developers, whatever, who are into the career and understand like, okay, we need the multi-cloud approach. But they can do that because they've been, working with the cloud for years and they understand like the downsides or like the upsides of a different cloud or whatever it is, right? As a beginner, grab one, stick to one, learn it in and out. Let's see. Here we go. Do you use Google Cloud Skills Boost platform? And if so, do you prefer Quest, courses, or labs? I don't know what Google Cloud Skills Boost platform is. Do you?
Me neither.
I heard.
I'm sure. Like I'll get into it more.
Google Cloud Boost program. Let me Google. Featured learning paths. Interesting. Oh, we got to add this to the Learn thing. Check it out. I'll put it in the chat. I know there's Code Labs, which is really cool. Is this like a newer version of Code Labs, or maybe it's just specific to cloud? It looks a lot like Microsoft Learn. I mean, it doesn't look like it, but I think it's like that's the goal. There's quests. There's labs.
Wasn't there something like this
Courses.
called Quick Labs?
By Google?
Has that? Yeah. I don't know. They had a really good partnership with Google, I think. So if you go to Quick Labs, it's so similar.
It looks like it.
Yeah.
I remember using Quick Labs for I think AWS or something. Like they had
some
discount or something.
yeah, they have multiple, like they do have multiple cloud courses or requests. But yeah, it's so similar
Yeah, but that's great. We need to add that to Learn to Cloud. This looks
for
like a
sure.
fantastic resource for Google. Is Bicep the alternative for Terraform? No. So, well, I guess
In a
Bicep
way.
is a way of it's something that sits on top of ARM, which is
Mhm.
Azure Resource Manager, which is what Azure uses to deploy resources to Azure. Right? So you have Azure Resource Manager templates, which are JSON templates, and that's how you describe your infrastructure and how you deploy it. But it's notoriously a pain to work with because it's JSON. JSON isn't necessarily a language that's meant for humans to be able to read and write. It's meant to be worked with by, computers. So Bicep is sort of this, I guess, maybe language I would call it. On top of it, underlying, it still translates to ARM, to JSON,
Mhm.
but it's a lot easier to work with. So that's like, it's still an infrastructure as code tool, but it's like a better version of like, I'm trying to think, maybe equivalent would be like TypeScript and JavaScript. Like TypeScript translates to JavaScript, right?
Yeah.
Like when you compile the code, it's still JavaScript. It's just like a
Yes.
different, it's like, it has like
Technically.
better features on top of JavaScript, something like that, right? So it's kind of like that comparison. It is another infrastructure as code tool, but Bicep and ARM is specific to Azure, whereas Terraform you can use with, I think, any cloud,
Mhm.
right? So that's the
Yeah.
difference there. Let's see here. I've been following both of you guys and your content YouTube GitHub for a year or so. True inspiration. Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate that. Jeepers, the AZ-900 wowzers. Yeah, the 900 is the fundamentals.
Mhm.
Let's see. Thank you for suggesting Terraform. You always inspire me with your videos. After consuming your video, I am able to pass 104 recently. Is that for
Nice.
Rishab? I think that's you, Rishab. I don't know who this is in
I don't know.
response to.
We'll
But
both take
we'll
it.
both
We'll
say
both take
thank
it.
you.
Yeah.
We'll take
Thank you.
Yeah, so this is Cloud Skills Boost, which we were talking, which Afri just mentioned. I didn't know about this, but this is great.
Yeah. And Afri
Rishab,
also
you should make a video on it.
yeah. Sorry, not Afri.
I thought it was Afri.
Rajasilan. Sorry if I butcher your name, but he said, yeah, this is Quick Labs renamed.
Wow,
Awesome.
interesting.
So what would that mean? That they took out AWS and other cloud content from the platform? I hope so, because it clearly says Google Cloud Skills Boost.
If it's Google's version of Microsoft Learn and Ava's versions of Skill Builder. Okay. Wow, we need to add both. Do we have AWS Skill Builder and the Learn to Cloud?
No.
I would like to do a comparison of all these, but mine would be biased. Someone in the chat make a video of those three.
I've
Like
used AWS.
Skill Builder.
AWS. Yeah.
How
I
is
think it was something else before. We used it 3 years ago. It's free, which
that's
I
good.
think is good. But I don't know. I found the content boring at that time. I'm pretty sure they improved it a lot from then.
Yeah, I have no plans of making any comparison videos, but I would encourage someone in the chat to go try them all out and maybe write something or do. I would watch it. I would love to watch or read about it. But I personally have like no time or interest to do that. But that's great that they all have it. I really didn't know. I didn't know the equivalent of Microsoft Learn on these other platforms. I do think it's kind of Cloud Skills Boost. The name's kind of weird, not gonna lie. Could have just been Cloud Skills, but Cloud Skills.google. Yeah. Okay, thank you to both of you, obviously. Thanking both of you, obviously. Okay, nice. We took the compliment. Both of us took the compliment.
Yep. Oh, so I logged in to Cloud Skills Boost.google using my Quick Labs credential, and they seem to work. And yeah, they still
Can you show us?
have serverless web apps using Amazon DynamoDB, which I was doing. I don't know
Show
when.
us. Share your screen, Rishab. Come on. You're gonna crash my
Sure.
PC.
Okay. And sorry for my tabs mess. I'm pretty sure you cannot see them.
Rishab always has 30 tabs open, no matter what. Wakes up, opens tabs.
Yep. Entire screen, sure. So here's the
Yeah, you got what do you
cloud
got?
skills. So I was doing this. I don't know when, but
Oh,
it has to be way in the past.
yeah.
And you have all these quests, but if you look at it, it still shows up.
Can you search catalog and see if they have AWS stuff still?
Not sure. Wait, what?
Search for like AWS. I
No
like
paths.
Google's UI. Like the
Mhm.
colors, the diagrams, always very fun.
Wait, what?
Building a
Google Cloud Fundamentals for AWS
Interesting.
professionals. Building a VPN between Google Cloud and AWS with Terraform.
Some multi-cloud stuff there. That's neat.
Yep.
Okay, so maybe it is what did you say? Wiki Labs?
Quick Labs. Yeah.
Quick
With a
Labs?
QWYKLABS. I think that's how it's spelled. I'll switch back so we don't feel like we are in a.
Quick Labs, I think, is a platform devoted to GCP only. My firm has given me unlimited credits to use for Course Lab. It's a great utility. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to take. This is what I tell people all the time. Like, ask your work if they can give you, like, I don't know, maybe it's a yearly budget or it's a monthly budget or something that you can do towards, like, I don't know, certification, like some sort of like bettering your career. Because it's gonna, it's good for them, right? Because you become like someone who's upskilling, and that's good as an employer. It doesn't have to be crazy too, because you think like, you know, I don't know, like what's a decent amount of credits to have in like a platform that you can like get a lot done with, like $50?
$50 US is enough. I'm gonna say that. And yeah, if just talk to your employer. Most of the time, they don't care for like $50 a month kind of expense. Like even I've worked even with like smaller companies. It's I've talked to people and they said, yeah, our company not only provides subscription to a learning platform, but also gave us like, yeah, $50 kind of thing. The cool thing is, most certainly, I found this that most certainly the companies have MSDN licenses for devs. And what that does is if you can ask whoever the person in charge is that if they can provide one to you, it gives you $70 US of worth of credits every month for Azure. That's what I've been using for the past 2 years. But
Or and it's what we tell everyone to do as well, apply for these community builder programs. I don't know if you can apply to the Google one. I don't really know, but like, you know, start like documenting your learning, and then like I guess maybe applying to the AWS is probably like the easiest one because there's like a form that you can fill out. But apply to these programs where you'll get like, you know, you'll get credits.
Yep.
I don't know how much the AWS one is, but for example, when I was an MVP, I think the standard Microsoft MVP one was like $1,000 a year. But if you were like in specific categories, you could get up to like multiple thousands of dollars in credits. So,
okay.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Those programs are available.
For the community builders, it's $500 a year, which I think is more than enough.
Absolutely.
Given that I have built so many projects the last year, and I was the community builder, I've been only able to utilize 40% of my $500 for a year.
Yeah, especially with like, you know, like services like, you know, serverless, which you can get like a lot done. Like, and like anything that has like a consumption type plan, they're going to be dirt cheap because you're not like building the next TikTok.
Yep.
Right? You know, your traffic is going to be low, right? Why is everyone so hyped about Azure DevOps? Any specific reason? You mean us? Or like people in general?
Twitter, yeah.
Twitter's hyped up about Azure DevOps?
I saw a lot of tweets And by Azure DevOps, if you mean like the platform itself, I saw a lot of. I think they came up with there's something new in the DevOps Labs land from Microsoft, and I saw some tweets from Scott, and I'm trying to remember her name. She's pretty popular. She was also on Build, or what's the other conference that Azure has?
Ignite.
Ignite. Saw her there too. She's program manager, and she was on Azure Friday.
Oh, April.
April,
Edwards?
yes. Thank you. Yeah. So she was mentioning that there are some changes that are coming to like the DevOps labs. Trying to search my Twitter feed. But yeah, if you're talking about Twitter and what's the hype around that, I think that's it.
I heard about. I can't talk about it, but I heard a really, really, really cool service that I'm like, I can't wait for it to come out because that's gonna be like, and for me, it's gonna be game changing. I obviously can't talk about it, but while you look that up, I'll answer some more questions here. Is it good to take AZ-400 after 104? Any suggestions? 104 is the admin certification. AZ is the DevOps one. If it's good, it depends on like what you want to take your career. Like, do you want to do DevOps? Do you want to do architect? Do you want to do security? Do you want to do I don't know, developer? It's up to you. If you want to do DevOps, doing the 400 is probably a good next step. But if you don't, any certification, anything like upskilling and like specialty is great. Oh, that reminds me. Every person that won the giveaway has claimed their prize, so I don't have anything to raffle away. But I was reminded because I said security. The person who wanted they wanted like the 365 security certification, so the M something.
Yep.
We spoke a little bit, and then ultimately they were saying like they want to get into security for Azure. So then they ultimately ended up going with SC 200, something, one of the new security certs, which I'm jealous because I want to take one. I just don't have the time. So, when they do take it, we'll probably have a little bit of an update there. But yeah.
Nice.
Been using dozens of resources, paid free subscription courses for a couple of months, and can tell you which ones are better value for cost from InfoSec, Cloud Guru. Oh, awesome. If anyone has questions about resources, hit up Afri. Let's see. Google has a $30 a month subscription to do unlimited courses, quests, and labs instead of having to pay for individual credits. Ah, interesting.
Nice.
Also, remember
I shall look into this.
When you sign up for a platform, you get credits for free too. Keep that in mind. Which screen recorder is good to use on Linux so I can document? I don't know. You'll have to look. Yeah, probably OBS. Besides that, like, I really don't know. I use OBS on everything.
Yeah, and OBS is like your ultimate solution, even if you decide to like stream or you want to record yourself. Yeah,
so capable.
Along with the labs that you do.
I make my videos with OBS.
It's nice.
Just like the way like this is set up, I just use OBS and like straight into it. That way I don't have to like use a memory card or anything like that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Do Microsoft refund the charges pay as you go if you tell them you use it for educational purposes? I don't know. You'll have to ask them.
Yeah. Set up budgets.
Why everyone and every advertiser promotes data science? Data science is hype and cloud technology is underrated. What's your views? Oh, you know what? I was thinking about this the other day because on every YouTube, I don't have YouTube Premium, which I should get. All my ads are like data science courses.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that?
What's that platform? DataCamp?
Yeah.
I've never heard of them.
Yeah.
Until like late last year. And now I exactly know what the platform is for because of ads. And Misha hates it because she would watch TV and she would log into her YouTube and they would show ads there too because of the IP, obviously.
Yeah.
And then she's like, you need to stop like working in tech. I just hate them. And they're non-skippable, so.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I know A Cloud Guru did a lot of advertisements. I think it was July, August maybe. And every day you would get this ad for 2 minutes, which is not skippable. And I'm like, I used the platform already. Please leave me.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I don't know. I do also feel like, I mean, data science has always been hyped. to be honest. I think it pays pretty well. And when you think about like machine learning and all that kind of stuff, it's all data science. So I wouldn't say cloud is like underrated. I just think because cloud is so vast, like everything is cloud, right? So when you're saying data science, like you can't do that without cloud, like big data, stuff like that, right? So yeah, let's see. All right, it's a lot of here. Wow. What was that MSDN thing you were talking about? Is it something I could just Google?
Yeah, I'll start sharing my screen. Let me just get it up.
I want to pursue my master's in cloud computing in Canada or USA. Is there any good college that you can recommend? I can't recommend any college because I have not been to any college.
Yeah, at master's level. No.
Algo expert. Oh my god.
Oh yes. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know how I forgot that one.
All the time, Algo expert.
Yeah, and Misha knows that. So this is how many ads we have seen. Misha knows that the girl in the ads, she's Clement's girlfriend.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how do you know that? She's like, you watched Clement's videos a few times, and I've seen her in her videos. And they were doing so they did this. It was a good concept video for sure. So Clement, who is Algo Expert's founder or owner, he questioned his girlfriend on programming terminologies, and she just had to guess like what this stands for and this and stuff. It was pretty funny to watch because Misha, as you all know, she's not in tech, so it was pretty hilarious for her too, and for me obviously. And then his girlfriend did the other way around. She's in fashion, so she questioned him in regards to like fashion terms, and I had zero clue. But yeah, Algo Expert, thank you. So many ads.
Yeah, the platform might be great. It's just like I don't care for it. I don't care for algorithms at the moment. Hopefully, I don't ever have to, but we'll never know. Who knows, really? It says here, Microsoft says prerequisite for 400 is 104. Yeah, if you want to take the 400, then you have to take 104 or 204. In Rishab's experience, he says the 204 gives you more overlap. So you might be better prepared if you do 204 then 400.
Oh, no. 204 then 104.
204 then 104 then 400?
Yeah. Oh, I meant when you're comparing which is better to take as a prerequisite between 104 or 204. Yeah, go for 204.
For the 400. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So do 204 over the 104 if you want to take the 400. Yeah.
Too many codes. Got confused.
Yeah. That's the one thing. It's like, and we always change numbers. It started at like 103, 104, the 303, 304. Now it's at 305. Yeah. All these. Private cloud. There's comparatively less info about it online. Private cloud, like on-prem, right?
I hope so. Yeah.
What is private cloud like? What do you mean by private cloud? I mean, on-prem's never going away, ever. Hybrid is always going to be a thing. Go for compliance and security and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yep.
Did you find the tweets?
No. I did find the Azure Friday thing. And
I just saw that episode.
Yeah.
I like April's haircut. She's a cool haircut.
But
and it has a cool background.
For sure. But yeah, I didn't find anything. I guess my just Twitter feed was people talking about Azure DevOps.
It's that DevSecOps.
FinOps.
The FinOps. MLOps.
Dev AI ML FinOps. But yeah, Rodney, to just circle back on your question, yeah, if you just Google MSDN, the first link would be Visual Studio subscriptions, and you can pick whichever subscription. And try logging in with your work account. This is how I found it. So I was logged in to my work laptop, and I went to, I don't know how I ended up there. I think I was trying to download Visual Studio, and there was like, oh, you have, and like there are, I think, 7 or 8 types of licenses you can have, and they were like, oh, you have this license. Here are the benefits, and Azure benefit was just there, like sitting there saying $70 a month.
Oh, you have to
Activate.
claim it.
Yeah, so you activate and you're good to go. But there are a lot of other benefits, and your work account might already be registered to some kind of license that you can utilize. But yeah, it's MSDN Visual Studio. Search for that.
Let's see. In terms of market share, maybe? Is this the private cloud thing? I don't know. Let's see. GitOps also, yes.
Oh, thank you. Yep.
What's the difference between GitOps and DevOps?
I have no idea because I do GitOps as a DevOps engineer.
Is GitOps just around Git? Like version control?
Yeah. I hope so.
GitOps versus DevOps. Let's see. What do we got here? It says here. Oh my goodness. But just get to the point. This blog post needs to get to the point. Conclusion. But GitOps has demonstrated it's more powerful for what is the best? I just need a straightforward, like, one-line answer. Oh, what is GitOps? GitOps is managing infrastructure using Git. Okay, so it's manage infrastructure and application configurations using Git. GitOps works as Git. Okay. GitOps and DevOps do share some of the same principles and goals. DevOps is about culture change and providing a way for development teams and operation teams to work together collaboratively. GitOps gives you tools and a framework to take DevOps practices like collaboration, CI/CD, and version control and apply them to infrastructure automation and application deployment. Developers can work in code repos, they already know, while operations can put... Okay, so DevOps is like the culture, and then GitOps is the tools that you use to implement DevOps.
Okay.
I did not know that. Look at that.
No, me neither.
So should we rename our phase 4 to GitOps?
I just don't want to confuse people.
GitOps when DevOps engineers become old. Let's see. Private cloud could be OpenStack. But OpenStack is like... Is OpenStack still like... it's like a framework for you to implement your own stuff, but like you're using your own hardware, right? It's not like a cloud necessarily. It's like...
Yeah, it is.
It's like your own data center? Or do they have a hosted version?
They do. So they have public cloud data centers, and you can leverage those. I think it's a tool that brings both of them together. Like you can have OpenStack in your own data center, and then you can also have some resources in public cloud utilizing OpenStack. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, that's the understanding when I last looked it up that I had about OpenStack.
Open source cloud computing infrastructure to OpenStack is a set of components that provide common services for cloud infrastructure.
So it says on premises, host your cloud infrastructure internally or find an OpenStack partner in the marketplace. Then it says public cloud. Leverage one of the 70 plus OpenStack powered public cloud data centers. So it does have public cloud data centers that you can utilize.
Okay, but there's an implementation that you could use for your own data center, and that would essentially be a private. Hold on, let me block this user. A private cloud. Yeah, cool. Any thoughts about OpenShift and Oracle Cloud? Not really. I think they're still niche, pretty niche. I haven't used either. I know you have an Oracle cert, right?
Yep. That was two years ago. So it's already expired.
What's the What's the UI like? Do you remember?
It's okay. I think they can do some work, definitely. But yeah, um, mixed feelings. I don't know. And as like we already said, like don't
Don't do it.
focus. No, don't focus on too many cloud providers. Underneath, they are the same. And I know with some terminology too, they do have a lot of common terms with AWS, so it was easier to like know what service did what. But yeah, other than that, I was not totally hooked onto it. Oh yeah, this is amazing. I should keep doing it. But yeah, it's straightforward.
Do you have Rishab, now since you'll be joining Google, you'll hear the term SRE and I brought away. I still haven't been able to figure out the difference with DevOps engineer and SRE.
We do have SREs at my current job. We do have DevOps engineers, which I was, and that's what I say. Like different companies, the role itself can mean different things depending on the dynamic and how the role was defined when they were planning it out. The SREs are basically, and this is just in terms of my employer and how I've seen it, is we have 12 products or 10 products. The SREs are responsible for one particular product out of those 10. So let's say employee X manages this product and its delivery and how it's delivered using DevOps practices and security, and also like what tooling you have to use. But he's only responsible for one product. DevOps engineers would collaborate with this SRE to make sure like we follow every practices and all that stuff and which tooling to pick and stuff. But in a certain way, we are responsible for all 10 products because we will be working with SREs that are responsible for product number 2, product number 3, product number 4. So that's how I see it. Especially the exposure that I have had to SREs and DevOps and the dynamic that they share. I don't know how it would be at Google. But yeah.
So from what I have read, I don't have any personal experience with it, but from what I know, from what I've heard, is DevOps are focused like a lot on like the pipelines, right? And like the deployment, the whole shebang there. Whereas SREs are more focused on like resilience, like uptime. I feel like they do a lot more on call kind of stuff. And like it's like a little bit more hyper focus of like DevOps. More like automating, like if there's a procedure that they can automate to like for when they're like fixing some sort of downtime error or something like that, like they'll automate it, stuff like that. That's what I know from.
Yeah, no, I think it's pretty close to like how like what I know, because as you said, like those SRE engineers, because they're working with the product so closely, they do know how to automate certain processes that are in place. Whereas I won't know that. I would just be part of where we have to define a pipeline, because they're closer to the product in my case than we are. But yeah, no, I think.
Yeah, hopefully that helps. I don't know. I think they use a lot of the same tools too. So
Yes.
And it's also like every other role, every company like doesn't implement them differently. So it's hard to set like a standard. Like I think roles and responsibilities of cloud engineer versus dev engineer are mixed. Yeah, absolutely. I think roles of cloud engineer are mixed and matched. Yeah. I would agree. That's why it's so hard when someone says like I want to be a cloud engineer. I'm like, what does that mean?
Yeah. You can be a cloud architect. You can be a cloud developer. You can be a DevOps engineer.
Cloud admin, all these kinds of things. It's so hard to define as a standard. All right, people, get your last questions in and we'll wrap up in a few. What updates do we have? Do you got anything planned? Any videos planned? Stuff planned?
I'm really trying to work on the phase 4, and that's where my focus is with videos too. I do want to get out my DevOps video, like the fundamentals of DevOps, and I think it'll be a series because videos are getting longer. Like one single video is getting longer, and I don't want to like overwhelm people. And I think it could be used really well with the guide. So when you hit phase 4 and you want to learn what DevOps is in general and the practices involved,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, once I redefine or at least have that at a better place in the guide, I'll focus towards the video content. So that's what you can expect that would be coming to my channel.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, in
Like a
terms of
roadmap, kind of
yeah, not a roadmap, just DevOps in general. It won't be a roadmap. It would be
for
so. Let's
DevOps.
say yeah, DevOps. So CI/CD, um,
Mm-hmm.
IAC or infrastructure as code, VCS, monitoring. So these are the 4 topics that we picked for phase 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would love to have it defined in the guide to some extent, but then the rest of it would be that series that I'm talking about through videos,
Mm.
and then include those videos in the guide to help people understand DevOps more. And hopefully that's the goal. I don't know how deep I want to dive into
Each one.
this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But for starters, I think each video would be like, I don't know, 3 to 5 minutes, um, where it's just defining the term itself and then a real time, like real world implementation of that term. But yeah, that's what's coming in regards to updates. Any news? Now, I think
No.
joining Google is what I'm excited and looking forward to. And right now, I'm apartment hunting, so it's challenging. And
Yeah, you
also,
need to
it's so
balance
cold
everything.
outside. So
Yeah, you're offboarding at your place. You're getting ready to start a new role at Google. You're finding a new apartment. You're trying to like do these changes
mhm.
to learn to cloud, make these new videos and stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, it's that time of year, man. It's like everyone's like, let's go, 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 go. It's like so much to do.
Yep.
Um,
Oh, one news. Thank you for everyone in the chat and also other people who will watch it offline for the support. Finally hit 1K subscribers. So
let's go. Finally.
finally, took me 400 days. I counted them, almost 407, something around that.
Hmm. The first 1,000 is like the hardest because like you're waiting like, oh, I'm so close, I'm so close, I'm so close. But like now, like I feel like you've got a pretty good idea, and like now it's just about like developing like that pipeline of consistency.
Yep.
Right. And it'll help because like, and like I tell you, and like we were gonna talk about this. Remember, you were
hmm
like, I don't really know what to focus on, and
hmm
I told you lean into what you're gonna be like learning at your new role, and
Yeah,
that could be like from any aspect, right?
for sure.
Because it's like, first of all, it's gonna be fresh on your mind. You don't really have to like force yourself to learn anything else because it's like
No.
you're already learning that. Just like take
Yep.
that experience and put it into like a video in the afternoon or something like that, right?
Yep.
And plus, people will be like genuinely interested, right?
hmm
And it's authentic because it's like, oh, I'm living
Doing
through,
this. Yeah.
I'm doing this in the day. Like I'm just kind of like, and it helps you, right? You'll have
For
like sort
sure.
of like a summary of what you've been doing.
Yeah.
Um,
And I think it goes like I think I'll benefit it from like personally too with my channel,
yeah,
and my work would benefit it from it as well because I might be learning some other stuff that I was planning to do in the next week or so. But yeah, no, I get it. So smart work.
yeah, smart work, dude. This is why I had to like drop Rust. I had to drop like I wanted to do Blazor stuff this month, but I'm like I can't. I wanted to
Yeah.
do like we wanted to do the KCNA study group, but we had to
hmm
drop it, push it off for later on. It's just like in order for like us to bring, I guess, quality work, you can't divide yourself up too much, right? And we also have
For sure.
lives. Like we have
Oh
significant
yeah.
others. We have like you have hobbies that you do. Are you playing any
COVID.
leagues? No, nothing. No gym, no
Yeah.
nothing.
I'm registered, but the league was supposed to start last week. But yeah, there we are back to phase 2 in Ontario, and gyms and everything is closed down, so nothing.
So what are you doing? Just going for like walks and stuff?
Yeah, but it's hard in minus 30 degrees Celsius.
Last question. Can you share your notes or your websites if possible? Mine is my YouTube. It's youtube.com/made by GPS. Like everything that I end up working on becomes a video. So, and the videos will
Nice.
have all the links. That's like, I'll have like some bash stuff, probably this or next week, and some Docker, and like some container registry, container instances, Azure stuff for this month. And next month I'll have more stuff, but that's like the focus for the next 2 weeks. So you can expect that on my channel. And then whenever I write anything that goes along with the video, it'll be in the video description. So your best bet is to just like check out my channel. Rishab,
Yeah.
I know you have links that you can share.
Yeah, so first is my YouTube. I try to push out content consistently, and it's mostly around cloud. But I do
Put
have
your YouTube.
notes if you're studying for any of the certifications that I have already taken, and you can find them at notes.rishab.cloud. For more written content, you can go to blog.rishabkumar.com. So this is the exact same thing. I have so many domains and platforms, but yes, you can go to blog.rishabkumar.com. You'll find some blogs and great projects that I built in like text form. But yeah, those are the 3 things you can find.
And you can find us every Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern time, hanging out for an hour and a half, just answering people's questions.
Yeah, we just need to talk with some platform at the TV station.
All right, ready to end it, everyone? We'll see you next week. I don't know what we're going to talk about next week, but, we'll be here. All right, peace out.